I think first off, we should start about the Ravens. Picked up a big win against the Steelers on Saturday, needed that win. Now they are currently tied for the AFC North. Steelers have it via a tiebreaker due to better conference record. But if the Ravens win and the Steelers lose to the Chiefs, the Ravens control their destiny in the AFC North. But we do have a big Christmas game tomorrow at 4:30, streamed on Netflix against the Houston Texans. The Ravens are now 5.5-point favorites. What do you think of this game, Cam?
This game, I wouldn't say is that important for the Texans. So I don't think the Texans are like, this is a do or die game, for
Right.
seeding, but they're going to go into the playoffs and they're going to end up facing a team like the Ravens or the Bills. Like, you pick your poison. You're going to end up facing one of the top teams in the AFC. This is a game the Baltimore Ravens, actually, not the Baltimore
You
Orioles. Well,
talk
the
about baseball too much.
The Baltimore Ravens need to win. This is
Yeah.
a game, like, you win this game, you're projected to win the AFC North. Like,
100%.
I'm not sure what the Steelers' last two games is. I know it's the Chiefs, and do they play the Bengals again?
Chiefs and yeah, pretty sure they end with yeah, they do
Okay,
end with
so
Bengals
I'm like,
at home. But
if they go out, I don't expect them to beat Chiefs. They somehow beat the Chiefs, and then they go to Cincinnati. But say the Broncos lose this week, and then
right.
the Broncos lose next week. Cincinnati are going to come in next week and be like, okay, this is a do or die game for us.
Yeah.
Because if Cincinnati wins out, they're also in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
Cincinnati is taking each game do or die by approach. Now for the Ravens, they just have to go out and win, so like they did last week. Give Derrick Henry the ball. This is the part of the season where you let Lamar Jackson sit back. Get him healthy for the playoffs. Don't use his legs a lot. Get a lot of receivers healthy. I don't think Zay Flowers should play, even though he was questionable. Just leave Zay Flowers out the game. I think they have enough arsenal with Rashad Bateman and other guys. You can get Walker a chance to finally
Yeah,
be that
Tez.
type of guy in your wide receiver room to go out there. And another key part of this is if Deontay Johnson plays, I feel like the Ravens are going to be fired up. The
I
Ravens are
like
going to be fired
That'd
up
be
for this
that'd be
game.
crazy. I don't think he does play because obviously you have to learn the playbook. He got signed yesterday. If he couldn't learn the Ravens playbook in 4 weeks with the team, I don't expect him to learn the Texans playbook with 2 days with the team. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, Cam, this is a game that the Ravens need to win. Texans, they have a nice cushion in the AFC South. I think they're like 2 or 3 games up. So I think all they need to do is win one more game and they clinch that division. So maybe they want to clinch it this week against the Ravens on Christmas in front of their fans. Give the Houston faithful a nice Christmas present to clinch that division. However, the Ravens, they always seem to play their best ball towards the end of the regular season. You've seen this year in and year out. The Ravens on Christmas last year, they went to San Francisco, a game that no one expected us to win. They won by like 3 scores. And we had 4 or 5 interceptions on Brock Purdy. Lamar Jackson basically established himself as the MVP frontrunner. Then the following week after that, he came out and threw for 5 touchdowns, 330 yards, perfect passer rating, put up 60 points on the Dolphins. So this is a game for the Ravens that they need to win it. And I like the odds to win it. They're 5.5-point favorites, which is a lot. But the Texans, they also had a short week, just like the Ravens, but they've probably had a very hectic past couple of days. They
Yeah,
lost Tank Dell. That was a gruesome injury. Prayers
yeah.
to Tank, hoping speedy recovery.
MCL,
Yeah,
broken kneecap.
that's a big
Um,
one.
just it's gonna be a long recovery from
Yeah.
everything he's went through this season too. Like,
Yeah, he got
it's like
shot last year, like in the leg,
had a
like
season injury last season, and he just recovering from that. He was just starting to get healthy once again, and he was looking good. And then on that throw to CJ Stroud, I don't even know how he ended up making that
yeah,
catch and getting that
spectacular.
touchdown. But it's just like Texans are in a bad spot. I don't think they're in like the mental spot right
Right.
now to really like compete. And like you could
100%.
see CJ in that last game. Once he got hurt, it was just
Kinda
the whole
lost it.
demeanor of the team. Like CJ just wasn't right. He's such a caring person, and it just affected the whole team as a whole. But yeah, like the Ravens just have to go out and play football. The
Yeah,
defense gotta continue to contribute. Like, this is a game for the defense to get more turnovers. Like, it's time for the defense to start taking this team and carrying a buckload because you're going into the playoffs. You need a strong defense. The secondary is getting better, but if guys can stay healthy and just stop with the penalties, that's the main concern with this team. If you can go
right.
2 weeks with less than 10 penalties, I'll be happy.
And they beat the Steelers mainly because penalties weren't a factor. They got turnovers, they got stops when they had to get stops, and they got touchdowns when they had to get touchdowns. And that's the recurring theme with this Ravens team. You pound the ball on first down with Derrick Henry. You pound it on second down with Derrick Henry. You get a first down. And then you establish the play action. Boom. Then you have Zay underneath for a 15-yard gain. It's a slow burning offense, and the Ravens wear you down. And this is a Texans team that is already very worn down. Like we were talking about, long week, obviously dealing with the loss of Tank Dell. Not, I'm saying that as if he passed away, but
Right.
like it sucks. It's a big loss though for him. They just lost to the Chiefs in a game that they could have won. The Ravens finally beat the Steelers, beat them good too. They beat them by double digits. The Ravens looked really good in that game. If Lamar didn't throw that pick, who knows what the score of the final? Who knows what the final score could have
But I
been?
wouldn't even blame that pick mostly on
I don't
him.
either.
It
I don't
was bad
either. He
communication, you
was
know?
he was due for one of those interceptions that kind of
I'm
were
not
his
sure. I
fault.
think all of his interceptions are to the result of Rashad Bateman this year
Honestly, yeah,
also.
dead ass. But for the Ravens, gonna keep it short and simple. You got to run the ball, punch them in their throats. That's what the Ravens do. They take advantage of teams' weaknesses when they're weakest. It kind of sounds kind of shitty almost, but it's football. There's no easy going. There's no mercy rule in football. I fully expect the Ravens to come out guns blazing. Lamar Jackson plays really well against the Houston Texans. He's 2-0 against CJ Stroud and 3-0 against the Texans in his career. No, 4-0 against the Texans in his career. So what is going to be in store? Can Lamar have one of those days where he throws for 4 touchdowns, 280 passing yards? You get Derrick Henry 100 yards on the ground with a touchdown. And do they put up 30 points
Right.
and start to walk away with the AFC North? It could be. But at the same time, the Texans are not a team to overlook. They're a good team. Their defense has been balling this season. They have a really good pass rush. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, Derek Stingley is turning into that true lockdown CB1 that they
Stingley is locked
expected him
down.
to be.
Stingley
Really
is
good.
locked. Stingley
He's
is like Stingley is like I would even put him and Sauce on the same tier right now.
I would too. I would too. I honestly think it goes like Pat Surtain. I think he's kind of in his own tier. I would put Jalen Johnson up there. I think he's great. And on the like, I'm talking about what they're doing this season.
Right.
Quinyon Mitchell are arguably on that top tier. You go down another tier. Sauce, Derek Stingley, Marlon Humphrey, Jair Alexander. You know what I mean? Like you have all those guys there. The Tariq Woolen, Devon Witherspoon, Trent McDuffie, like so many good cornerbacks. And Stingley really has evolved and emerged into his own. So I really do think that the Ravens do need a healthy and ready to go Zay Flowers. Take that top. I mean, take the top off over top. Get Bateman the ball. Get Likely the ball. Get Mark the ball. Use all of your weapons. Tylan Wallace, maybe, because there's no Nelson Aguilar. But they seemed fine without Nelson Aguilar last week. So guys were
Yeah.
stepping up, but it's a matter of whether or not we see the Ravens team that we saw on that 5-game winning streak in the middle part of the season, the team against the Steelers, or do we see that pretty bad team we saw against the Raiders or the Browns? That's kind of how you have to do it with the Ravens. It's a little tricky, but
Yeah.
I I like our odds to win another Christmas game.
Yeah, me too.